Hi, welcome again to Moose Show This Week. I'm Lyle Johnson, your host, and we're going to be talking about a project we shared in earlier in the year, and now it's come back because it's getting better and more effective. And Marilee Booth is with us. And Marilee, you have a long title for the organization. It tells everything you need to know just by saying the title, but welcome.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I'm from the Moose Jaw Crystal Meth Strategy Committee, and I'm the project coordinator for the Prevention and Awareness campaign in 2021. So I'll just give you kind of an update on what we're doing this fall. This fall, we are going to be supporting families. And so there's a couple of projects that we've got on the go. One is that we have some free presentations that we can do for groups of parents on how to talk to kids about drugs. So it's not just about crystal meth, but it's also about talking about, drugs in general. And I got to tell you that kids who learn about the risks of drugs from their own parents from home are 50% less likely to use drugs in a harmful way. And the other piece that parents really should know is that as much as we don't want to maybe hear this, but your preteen or teen will most likely be offered alcohol or drugs from one of their friends, from friends. So, there's some things that some kind of helpful hints and some conversations that we can have about opening up the conversation with young people around drugs and staying involved, being able to kind of talk about when to set boundaries and when to kind of, give autonomy, which is really what teens need to do. That's where they're at, and they need to be independent and autonomous. But parents do matter, and so they are their child's most important role model, and they are the best defense against harmful drug use. So that's
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's just one piece. It's just these free presentations that we can do on that topic.
I was just thinking, we were talking before we came on air about the success of the program already, especially the video that you made, and people are contacting you with, I've got a family member, I've got a, and that kind of thing. And it's make it more aware, and they're able to talk about it and not think that they're alone in this situation. And it's good for you guys for doing that, and also kudos to Eric, our producer in Saskatoon, who helped you with this, because he's very much bought into it. And now you guys want to do another one because it needs to go forward. And you've got a good group of people to work with. Wow. Look at the high-powered quality people that you're working with on this committee. And it's got to be successful because they wouldn't allow it not to be.
Yeah, we have some really great partners on our committee, including Moose Jaw Police Services, folks from the school division, Waccamaw Detox, Saskatchewan Health Authority, and others. And you're right, is that Shaw Spotlight helped us to develop or to create a video called Stop Messing Around, which was launched in June. And, when I tapped on the other day, I see that there's been something like 4,600 views of it. And it's not just around Moose Jaw. Interestingly enough, we've had people in our social media, like from BC, Nova Scotia, Ontario, who watched the video. So that's really awesome. We didn't expect the reach like that. But the other thing that we have through our social media are people that have contacted us saying, I have a family member who's affected by crystal meth. And like I was telling you, one of the shocking thing is a woman who's middle-aged who's informed us that her mother, who would be my age, in her 60s too, that is addicted to crystal meth. So, one thing that we've said all along is crystal meth does not discriminate. It can have effect on anyone, whatever your socioeconomic status is, whatever your gender is, whatever your age. And so one of the things that we are doing now in the fall is providing some support to family members whose loved one is affected by crystal meth. So the first thing that we are doing is a lunch and learn event in partnership with Square One Community Inc. And that will be on September 23rd at noon. And it is featuring a family member whose daughter had been on crystal meth and is now in recovery, as well as somebody from Saskatchewan Health Authority who will talk about some hints and some things for family members that they can consider doing that would help themselves and their family member. So to register for that, you'd have to text 306-630-6121 or email della@jonesparkview.com to register for that. The other thing that we are doing, and thank you to Eric Steiner, our producer from Shaw Spotlight, who really had a big hand in doing Stop Messing Around, that we are going to film a kind of part 2, Stop Messing Around. It's called Stop Messing Around, A Family Affair. And so we are going to be filming that in October and hopefully ready for a launch during Addictions Awareness Week, which is the week of November 22nd.
Well, that sounds like a good project going forward. And as you mentioned, families are a big part of the successful recovery. Oftentimes, it's people's isolation that causes them to take up some of the crystal meth because they don't think that anybody else cares about them. But if you have somebody who cares about you, then it's easier to deal with challenges in life, and not just crystal meth or anything else. But in this particular case, it's a classic example of what it can do to help people.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that really is a big piece of recovery, is getting the social and emotional support from family members. And family members can be, blood family, but they can also be somebody strong in your network. So yes, and family members really are critical to continued success in recovery. So yeah, there are definitely some things that we know kind of would be helpful for family members to know. And the other thing is that there's 2 questions actually that we hear from family members. One is, what do I do? So, and we are hoping to be able to answer some of that in the Lunch and Learn event, as well as the video that we're doing. But the other one is, where do I go? So we will be talking about some resources that are available within the community of Moose Jaw. And I know that the video that we do will be, might be watched by other people in other areas and communities, because I'm not aware of what resources are available there, but we certainly have some things in our Moose Jaw community that we'd like to be able to share with community members so that they know that there is a resource available.
And I'm sure that you guys are going to come up with another creative way of approaching it, and maybe making people more aware of what the power that they actually have in being able to work with them. Because sometimes people say, I don't know what to do. And you just say, well, have you tried this? Well, no. And have you tried this? No. But you say, well, try that. And they come back, oh, you guys, that was so good. We made another step along the way. That was really good.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Johnson, because you're absolutely right. I mean, some of this really is about, people, especially when they're in crisis, they just don't know where to go to get help. And so we really want to say a couple things. One is that there is hope in recovery. Crystal meth is an extremely addictive substance, and that's why we want to warn people, and in our prevention campaign around that. But on the other hand, there is hope for recovery, and so we really want to make sure that people know that there is help out there, and you're not walking it alone.
Yeah, when you talked about the people that you have to work with, like you have the police department, who they've got some really good position created to do community service, and it works with you guys so well, and they have. So they are really conscious of it because it's a big issue for them. And a lot of the crime in the community is caused by people who need money to pay for drugs. And also it's as you said, it's such a easy drug to get addicted to, and it's not overly expensive. So, sadly, they wish it was like $1,000 a tab or something like that, or whatever you use. And that might restrict people's access, but it seems to be readily available, and that's something for the community to want to deal with, to try and curtail that?
Well, you're absolutely right around that, and it's cheap. It's available. It produces a high euphoria that can sometimes last 4 to 12 hours. So in that way, it makes it attractive. But it's so highly addictive. And I've got to tell you, because I am a member of the Moose Jaw Police Commission, and at our meeting the other day, we learned. I'm not surprised, but that the crystal meth offenses have increased 260% this year from last year. So you know what? I hate to say this because again, we don't want to keep talking about COVID, but COVID seems like it's here. It's not going away. We have to figure out how we're going to manage it. So is crystal meth. Crystal meth is here. It doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. How are we going to manage through this?
Yeah, and of course, having a group to strategize with that. The family's good. The community itself has to want to do that, and it has to have a channel to address those concerns. And I think as you move along, you are finding ways that you will help the community to heal itself from this.
Yeah, we've got great support. I really have to kind of say kudos to the community. Like I was saying earlier, we've got great support from, the school divisions. And in fact, two of the consultants, Jen Chan and Logan Petlack, have written lesson plans for grade 9 health. And we're going to be helping to distribute those lesson plans to 27 school divisions around the province. So it'll be available for other people to use too. And the other thing is, the city of Moose Jaw, so they have given us Craig Hemingway, who is our communications director for City of Moose Jaw. So he's going to be involved in our next project, our video project. So it's just so great to see both government, non-government, community members just really either involved or interested in this campaign. So that's great because, the more we talk about it, the more we warn people about it, hopefully, we'll have a good outcome.
Yeah. Now you're mentioning, we're into our last minute, Merle, already. You're mentioning an event in September where people will be able to interact about this. So just let us sum up with that project, where you can get contact with you guys.
Yeah, so the Lunch and Learn event, September 23rd. So text 306-630-6121 to get registered in that. The other thing is that we do have a website, a web page now. So our friends at Journey to Hope have given us some time or a page on their website, and it's called www.hopesummit.ca. And there's a tab that says MJCMSC. And so people can go on there and watch the video. They can get some discussion questions. The presentations are on there too.
Well, that's great. Merle, thanks for taking time from your walking outside. It's so nice, nice weather to be able to do that. But taking time to update us on this, and best of luck with the new video. Best of luck with the luncheon, and let's keep this project moving forward because our community needs it, and our community will benefit from your guys' efforts. So thanks very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
That's it for Merle, and thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon on Moose Jaw This Week.